he goes. And we're live. And good morning. Welcome to this morning's Outlook. Let's see if we can find something this morning after yesterday's palaver. So, first things first, let's just sort of summarise what's happened here then. Yesterday, the inflation data in the US really surprised the markets. We'd seen a bit of a surprise on, let me just bring the debris up here. Let's actually look at yesterday as well here. So here we are, Tuesday. So we saw the US core inflation there below expectation, dropping down 0.1 less than expected. Now there'd been a bit of a build up with the more hawkishness, and I think the expectation was sort of there that there'll be another increase in interest rates. Now this might have knocked that on the head. So it sort of, they've taken a very hawkish stance in terms of their speeches, and all of a sudden you get this data come out, and it's sort of, what with the slowing of the economy, it might just put an end to things, and a stalling to things, I should say, and it surprised the market somewhat. So this morning, we've also got the UK data inflation just come out at 4.6 versus 4.7, so it's reducing faster than expected there, and certainly less than previous. So it's coming down in the right direction. We haven't seen the same impact on the pound. The expectations, I guess, was lower. Now we got this afternoon, important, still got inflation in the US, and this is the producers price index, so it's earlier up the stream there. So the consumer price index is obviously later down the stream, and the earlier it is, if we see an bigger inflation occurring here, that can be passed on to the consumers. So this is also an important number coming out at 130. We've also got core retail sales. This will show us really from a consumer's point of view, the state of the play in terms of whether they're willing to spend. But we'll see what happens. But that's really, watch out for 130 again. Whether we'll see such a move is another matter. I'll be surprised if we were to see another move like this. In 44 seconds, I'd done 50 points on a trade, and it's just sort of wow. Okay. So anyway, let's have a look at where we are this morning. I'm just going to come out, start looking at. Let's get rid of this. Sorry, I've been refreshing my computer, and so this is where we're sitting at the moment. So Euro US dollar, it's continued in the trend. It effectively was. It was horrible, but it was in this sort of slightly increasing move here. It might take a little while for people to catch up with the idea that with the US ain't going to increase rates. Well, we pretty much know that the ECB is not going to, and we might get some sort of corrections, but for now, dollars being sold. The stronger dollar that had been coming into play there is being sold, and there's not a lot setting up immediately. We could get some opportunities on certain retracements. I wouldn't expect it to come. Well, it might come all the way back down to its daily pivot. It's got, reasonable probability. It hasn't hit anything else. Yesterday, I was looking at for the S2, and thought, wonder if that will get hit. And well, it's made yesterday's pivots look rather small, relatively, but it's just huge movements we had there. Anyway, for now, there's nothing there on the euro that I can jump aboard onto. The pound, as I said, we've just had the data out on. We might get a bit more of a correction through the morning here, as it sort of traders dwell on the data that's been released. This green line is a very key pivotal area which has been with us for months and months and months, and maybe even years. It seems it has a lot of price action around it. That together, and just below it is the daily pivot, might just draw things down with the lower inflation reported in the UK there. Okay, US dollar yen. Well, let's just go big picture here. Saw quite a correction yesterday. Whether it can hold hold on here. It's sort of a flaggy pattern that we've got. Well, it's a flag on the lower time frame, flag pattern. It's whether really if it starts strengthening some more, maybe later. We could see a stalling this morning. Just bear with me. Bear with the market. It's not me. We could see some more sort of choppy markets this morning. But anything in a lighter market whilst traders are waiting for movement, we can get some quite sharp movements. But I would expect it may just consolidate, and traders may stay out for that PPI data later. See what I did there? Right, Australian dollar. Well, this was looking soft. I mentioned the pivot swing yesterday. Didn't expect this. That was bullish pivot swing, but didn't expect it to move as much as it did. It was slipping off in the morning session there. Anyway, full turnaround, and again double topish. We might see. Really wait for the break of the lows between the two highs there. If it starts triggering down, they may be playing a bit of a catch up. I know there was a sort of a lot of strength built into the US dollar in expectation, but whether it warrants such quite a correction, we'll see. I'm not sure it's going to follow through today, unless of course the PPI drops significantly. US dollar CAD, well, finally, it's looking a bit sort of stronger, the CAD against the US dollar, but it's certainly another movement that's slowed down there. Not so easy this morning. It's got a bit of divergence going on this short time frame here. A break above the highs could see it pulling back towards its pivot. It'll, as I say, it's difficult at the moment to try and get into trade. Well, it's easy to get into trades, but trades that might come into play and be successful is another matter. And the probability is a little bit wiped out at this stage. New Zealand dollar again pushed up well yesterday against the US dollar. We possibly need to look at some of these cross pairs. There's not a great deal. I mean, sorry, that New Zealand dollar, just come back to it, moving about. I mean, you can see the pattern that's in there on the dailies there. It's an inverted head and shoulders. Maybe we will capture a bit more upside against the dollar, but I'm not holding my breath, and that could soon change this afternoon. So when that data comes out later, the US dollar Swissy. Again, lower highs here. It's really, I was looking for these bars here to continue previously, but it did this horrible move here for me. But it's rolled back again. Subject to later, but it could be a good opportunity to see a bit more of a correction there. Right, cross pairs. Well, likes the euro yen. The euro did really gain from it yesterday. You can see it pushed up even further, taking out even more retail traders stops, and it's not stopping yet. So if you're thinking I'll sell that now, I've been saying it for months and months and months. I've been saying it. Oops, I just moved my trend line there. I've been saying it for, well, probably 6 months of this year. Hold out of it. It's in a solid trend, and well, it's in a solid trend, and please don't sell it. Not because I'm long on it. Anyway, euro pound. Again, euro's just catching it a little bit better this morning. It had been correcting itself. Not the most straightforward yesterday. Just pound just was that bit stronger than the euro in the afternoon when that data came out. But this morning we've seen a bit of softness on the softer UK inflation. Okay, nothing I could see immediately on this. Maybe if we see a break of the trend line that's coming down there in the bigger picture here, it's a bit of a flag movement. Let's just pop the There we go. It's bang into it at the moment. So maybe once we get going post 8 o'clock, 8:30ish, if it's continuing to move up, it could have some more options. Now, whilst the Aussie did well against most things, it even did well against the euro here. We saw the euro Aussie. Again, it was initially starting to move quite nicely, but the Australian dollar strengthened even further, and we've seen this sort of correction. We've seen that double top triggered effectively, and that's in play at the moment, so there could be some further downside, although the weekly pivot might just provide support. But it's looking a tad softer there at this stage. Sentiment wise is weaker than most of these, but the CAD is soft as well, and well, which means the euro Aussie might come off. The EURGBP, or I say come off, continue to the upside, a big pardon. The Aussie might come off, that's what I really meant. Anyway, we got this sort of on this 4-hourly picture. We've got bullish flag here sitting on the EUROCAD. I would like to see that coming back into the pivot there and testing the pivot for support, and maybe look for a buy off of that if it gets back there. Euro New Zealand is New Zealand and Australian dollar. They've really benefited. You see the New Zealand dollar off again this morning. Well, I say the New Zealand dollar stronger this morning against the euro here, and we're seeing the correction accordingly. It's the markets that have been really pinched. They have seen the better movement there. Anyway, not seeing immediate trades here, he says, looking at the pound Aussie. That's also rolling over. But we might see some continuations. We've seen this. We're sitting in this range here. Been sitting in the range with a yearly pivot sitting there, providing resistance on the pound Australian dollar. May just stall things here, but this well, it's certainly stalled things at the moment. We could see this rolling over and continuing. Particularly, yeah, we'll see what happens this afternoon. We get more continuation. The Australian dollar may just make the gains. Pound CAD continuing to, again, the Canadian dollar, the softer of the bunch at the moment. Anyway, there we go. I don't. There's not a great deal right at this moment I'm looking for, and I'm sitting. Probably going to sit on my hands. Morning, Jan. I'm just going to sit on my hands a little bit this morning and let things set themselves out, and see if I can catch a bit of the action this afternoon, maybe. Looking quickly then at a couple of the other markets. It's just flicked through here. He says looking for gold. So gold benefited. So we've seen this sort of bounce. I was talking about it yesterday. It broke the trend line that was sitting across the lows here. It's put a higher low in. It's done everything, and well, it's got some potential for continuation. Right into a double top at the moment though. So that sort of usual thing is I wouldn't want to buy from here. Well, it's not the best place to be buying from in my book. Maybe needs to see a bit of patience here. It's done its flag. It's moved up. It's double topping. Yes, you might get a breakout trade. I'm just looking at resistance right away across the highs here. So it's sort of into it. Maybe a break, a retest, and then a continuation. Just catch the hook on that possible. Okay, that's the gold. Oil generally benefits on a weaker dollar, but well, didn't really yesterday, did it? Ended up it popped and dropped. In fact, it's looking softer again now with a flag, but as I mentioned yesterday, I think there's fundamental reasons why this might not drop as fast as some traders may think. But we are sitting in this sort of bear flag. and it's not really going anywhere too quickly. We might get some decent movements to the upside, but it did catch and go with the rest of the markets there. Softer US dollar, stronger oil, but it gave it all back in the later stages there, so it's not massively convincing. Okay, quick look at S&Ps. So equity markets like this sort of information. I'm still questioning how much further this would go, but it's going long, and it's going that way, upside, and I don't want to get in the way of it. I don't start shorting these markets until they show their hand effectively. When they're starting to break down this sort of pattern, you've had these sort of lower highs coming through, that's the time for me to be sitting there looking for the trades. At this point it's going upwards, whilst I think it might stall. We see these relief rallies, and that could be one of them. Closer to home, even DAX managed to get a good shove on there yesterday, put the higher lows in. This is in fact still, it was looking relatively bullish yesterday morning, and well, it's continued to do so. There was the shove in the morning, it had pushed up there. Difficult now from where it's sitting whether it's going to just consolidate or pull back for its pivot. It's a hard shout for me this morning, and the FTSE, well, it's just done the same thing here. Solid move yesterday, and the continuation is the expectation. Maybe interest rates, worldwide interest rates, might be stalling and rolling. That's possibly why these these equity markets are all seeing such a boost. Anyway, there aren't instant trades for me there, so I wish you good luck on those. I'm off. I'll catch you tomorrow morning. Bye for now.